Hello everyone, this is Jack Frost with your weekly update for the Ethereum Technicals and XRP. On the Ethereum Technical Weekly chart, price has increased previously above resistance, now support at 2800 this last completed week. Just here, a small doji candlestick, particularly with this data source. The data source I am using is Cryptocurrencies. This last completed week has a long upper wick, giving a slight bearish indication. Volume shows a very strong push on this last week just here, though within this week, as you will see in a minute on the daily chart, strongest volume was on the downward sessions, seeing volume to support downwards movement overall, though there is still some strength in upwards movement, particularly with this last candlestick just here, and some recent bullish candlesticks as well. ADX is declining at the weekly time frame, showing no clear trend. ATR is steadily declining for the short term as price increases for the very short term, giving an overall bearish outlook for volatility, though it did overall increase along with price previously, for the long term giving a bullish outlook. And as ADX declines for Ethereum at this weekly time frame, we use the model of stochastics and support and resistance, though as usual, while we do prefer the daily time frame for short-term price fluctuations, at the weekly time frame this model suggests an upward swing may continue towards resistance at 35.80 or potentially up to 41.30, where price finds one of these resistance points, while stochastics may enter overbought. On the technical daily chart for Ethereum, price has declined with a dark cloud cover just here after breaking above resistance at 3200. Currently it moves a little bit sideways. Volume is overall strongest on the downward sessions, as I mentioned previously, particularly these pushes just here, seeing volume to overall support downwards movement at the daily time frame, though a push on some of the bullish candlesticks, particularly this last one just here, does show some strength for upwards movement for the short term. ADX increases with a bullish trend that is not extreme and not yet in danger of ending, seeing price to continue overall upwards. On balance, volume has reacted to prior resistance, now support, giving a bullish signal, though it currently does have no new range. RSI is neutral, having just returned from overbought, where price found its previous short-term high. Money flow in the same situation as RSI, currently returned from overbought, where it previously entered just overbought while price found its previous short-term high. Neither RSI or money flow exhibit any divergence at this time. ATR is steadily increasing along with price, particularly for the short term, giving an overall bullish outlook for volatility. And as this trend indicated by ADX is not yet extreme and not in danger of ending, it does expect price to continue upwards. The trend may continue to where ADX reaches extreme or very extreme conditions, while RSI and money flow may enter overbought again or exhibit some divergence. On the XRP weekly chart, this wave count sees intermediate wave 3 within primary wave 3 to continue higher, currently within minor wave 3. As it continues higher overall, primary wave 3 has a target calculated at 28.84 using the 14.72 ratio between that and primary wave 1. It may end in November 2025, lasting a duration of Fibonacci 3 years. An acceleration channel is drawn around the minor degree movements from the end of minor wave 1 to the last high, with a copy on the end of minor wave 2. This channel will continue to be redrawn as price is expected to continue upwards. Once minor wave 3 is labeled complete, that channel will be relabeled and Elliott channel then drawn using Elliott's first technique. Within minor wave 3, any second wave corrective movement cannot move below its start at 0.4322. And with price expected to continue upwards with increasing range and momentum, this strong bullish candlestick does give strong support to the wave count, as I previously mentioned. This low with the end of minor wave 2 on the weekly chart. Is this low just here on the daily chart? This wave count sees more detail for the upwards movement labeled minor wave 3, currently within the final stages of minute wave 1. Minor wave 3 can only subdivide as an impulse, and within minute wave 1, minuet wave 5 is expected to be within its very early stages. An additional high above 1.2700 would add confidence to this wave count for the short term, as it is this last high for minuet wave 3 just here. This would see minuet wave 5 moving above this end, avoiding a truncation. An Elliott channel is also drawn around the minuet degree movements within minute wave 1, using Elliott's first technique from the end of minuet wave 1 to the end of minuet wave 3, with a copy on the end of minuet wave 2. As price is expected to now continue upwards, this channel may provide resistance for the end of minuet wave 5. If minuet wave 4 just here wants to continue any lower, it cannot move into minuet wave 1 price territory at 0.6444. And when minute wave 2 arrives, it cannot move below the start of minute wave 1 at 0.4322. This wave count does see minor wave 3 to be within its early stages, and so as I previously mentioned on the weekly chart, as it continues we do expect increasing range and momentum, particularly for its middle stages when minute wave 3 arrives. On the technical weekly chart for XRP, price has increased for this last completed week, a very strong bullish candlestick with a push from volume, which I will get to in a second. It has moved above all prior resistance, highest resistance previously at 0.82, though with the upper wicks for these last two sessions just here, A new resistance line is added at 1.200. This may continue to provide resistance, and if price breaks above this resistance point just here, we can look for further resistance at round numbers. Volume shows strong support for upwards movement with this strong push from volume higher than all previous candlesticks by a large margin, seeing volume to support upwards movement at the weekly time frame. ADX now increases with a bullish trend that is not extreme and not yet in danger of ending. As ADX increased from a low point and below both DX lines, it gives the strongest bullish signal that ADX can give. This trend may continue to where ADX reaches extreme or very extreme conditions. On-balance volume has broken above resistance, giving a weak bullish signal. This is only a weak signal as this resistance line was not very long held, only had 2 tests and quite a steep slope, though it does still support the current upwards movement for the short term. RSI is now overbought, though it does not exhibit any divergence at this time frame. Money flow is neutral, getting quite close to overbought, though it still has a little bit of room to move. Money flow does not exhibit any divergence either. ATR has steadily increased with a overall sideways movement, a slight bullish slope, though a steep increase for the most recent completed week shows a bullish outlook for volatility. And as this trend indicated by ADX is still within its very early stages, only just surpassing 15 recently, this expects price to continue upwards to where ADX may reach extreme or very extreme conditions, while RSI may reach more deeply overbought, money flow may reach overbought, and both may exhibit some divergence before the trend may be in danger of ending. This supports the Elliott Wave count, seeing overlapping third waves to continue higher, particularly at intermediate and primary degrees. On the technical daily chart for XRP, we can see more detail for the steep upwards movement for price's recent action. Volume shows more detail for the support for upwards movement, particularly with a push on these most recent bullish candlesticks, and a very strong push on this last high just here, where price found new resistance around 1.200. ADX continues to increase with an extreme bullish trend, as the ADX line is above 45, though as the ADX line meets the positive DX line, it is not yet very extreme, as it is not just above both DX lines, though it may enter very extreme conditions very soon. RSI is quite deeply overbought, though it does not exhibit any divergence at this time frame. Money flow also remains overbought, though neither money flow or RSI exhibit any divergence at this point. ATR has steeply and steadily increased along with price, giving a very bullish outlook for volatility. And as this trend indicated by ADX is extreme, though it is not yet very extreme, it may continue to where ADX reaches very extreme conditions, while RSI and money flow may enter more deeply overbought and or exhibit some divergence. This supports the Elliott Wave count, seeing these overlapping third waves to continue higher. Though with ADX nearing very extreme conditions while RSI and money flow are overbought, it may indicate a potential deeper correction at some point soon. That's all for me with your weekly update for XRP and the Ethereum Technicals. As always, if you do want the Ethereum Elliott Wave count, we have done an update for that today at pureelliottwave.com. You can sign up for that using the link in the description below. Thank you, and I hope everyone has a good week.